Hello again, Muscle Machines fans. So we have transporter set number 8. It is a 1950 Ford COE and a 1932 Ford Roadster. I can't remember if these boxes have dates on them. I don't see it. Oh, no, 2022 is when this thing came out. Alright, nice to know. Interesting. They actually went and taped that. Maybe this is old and the glue worked loose and the seller did that. I don't know. Alright, so as much as I hate plastic, this is a minimal amount of plastic. And so it got me the package, well, it got me the product safely. And not so much waste, I guess. So I'm cool with that. I guess we'll start with the transporter because I've already reviewed this before. I'm not going to talk about it having done a review of it. But it's nice that it tells you, the brand and here the parent company, but where is the text about what this is? Yeah, I don't think this mold has it. Strange, because it's just all this space, right? Someone just was sleeping that day. They could have had the text there. So you can see the tires are a different width, and they're also different height, so very cartoony, and they make a funky little noise from that tread pattern. You notice this little piece of plastic may have fell off, and that keeps the tires from having some sort of chemical reaction with the plastic below it. Okay, nice diamond plate pattern here. What is that? Is that a paint defect? I don't know, something weird going on there. It's only on that side, so that is inexplicable. Also the wheel chocks, I wish they were higher because they're so short. They don't do a good job of keeping the toy in place. I mean, these are toys, not scale models, so you'd think they'd be a little more functional for kids with no hand dexterity. Nice diamond plating, but this is all raised diamond plating, like real diamond plating. This is recessed crosshatch, like a grill almost. Interesting. And I guess that must have been where it came off the molding runner. Could have been. Well, anyways, it was a cheap toy. They have the pattern back there, which is nice. And you got the plastic back rear end. Nice chromed out plastic tanks. And then you can see this little T-channel here, and that's what keeps the bed from swaying sideways. It's actually a decent fit. Good friction as well. Not going to fall loose. I like the extra effort here of having some recessed red painted taillights, and then the lip is silver. This is cool little dual exhaust, and there's a little depth to the middle of them. Very neat. It's screwed together, but I'm not sure why you would want to take it apart, except for a wheel swap, because there's no interiors, as you can see. It's just blacked out plastic, but they did print the window divider there. No wiper blade indication there. The door handle sticking out, painted silver. A little footstep here with some black. Really nice tampo print of some sort of Dirty 13 SoCal Edelbrock cams. I think they make camshafts, right? Nice silver stripe here. It's a little bit raised, and then we have the intake or venting area here with some black in the recesses, silver on the outside. Just some silver domed headlights, but look, they actually added a black ring around it. That's extra effort I appreciate for sure. And then look, you even have an orange running lights or reflectors. Granted, they're not painted horizontal, but I'm still happy that they're there. This is an interesting white grill. I don't know if this truck ever had a white grill. It's quite nice. If you want to add some black paint, you could, but it's going to run into this side here, so might not be the best idea. Got some ridges of silver here. Yep, both sides. Yeah, some sort of hand grab, and I'm not sure what this would be. Maybe the fuel filler, or no? Because that's, I don't know, an oil? Leave a comment if you know. Some molded in tie-down D-rings there. And the wheels, you got these definitely commercial truck wheels with that many lug nuts. There's actually openings for the holes. It's just hard to see being black raw plastic wheels. But you can see the white wall of the tire is nicely done, very concentric looking. And it's as crazily sunken in this tire is, it actually does still roll, right? There's no rub or anything like that. It's pretty well engineered. This side obviously no fenders, and then 5 spokes, a lot of lug nuts. Yeah, decent enough circular white walls. Nice and fat white walls here. Very cool. Alright, that's actually very nice. I've reviewed it before. Yeah, different livery. Alright, so let's see. A 32 Ford, I'm going to read a little Wikipedia because I don't think I've ever reviewed one. This is the first low-priced mass-marketed car that came with a V8 engine. It was only a 3.6 liter back then. You gotta remember, this is 1932. So it only made 65 horsepower. I assume the seals and the pistons were made of marmalade or something. They made almost 300,000 of these things, and that was just in 1932 alone. So yeah, very good. They actually did have a different engine option, but the V8 was so little more that everyone just bought the V8. Alright, that's all I cared to learn from Wikipedia. Might be all wrong for all I know. Alright, looking at these wheels here, we have some domed and chromed hubcap wheels, black rims. I like to see this Firestone printing. And you can see, this looks like an old tire. It almost looks like a military Jeep tire, right? They're not tread blocks, they're almost like gripping blocks on the side. And then oddly, it's almost totally slick here. It's got two ridges, or grooves here. I'm not sure why they would do that. Something about the mold process? I also think these are conical. Like, I think this is thicker than the inside diameter. Look, it's like a V shape, right? That's probably to reduce rolling resistance and maybe pull out the mold easier. But you'll also notice the construction is a little weird. There's rubber here. It's not like a slide-on tire, like a real tire. It's like a cupped tire. So I'm not sure why they would do that. Strange. Same here. It might be a cupped tire. Maybe not. Maybe this is a normal one, equal sides. I don't know. Anyhow, they did print Firestone on this one as well. And so we have carrying over the same red. And now I'm noticing more that this is a translucent red, I think. Because you can see the highlights of the edges of the die cast. So I think this could be maybe just a transparent red. And that's what gives it this crazy sheen effect. Very, very shiny and deep. I think there actually is a different red on these taillights. Yeah, hopefully you can pick up on it. I think it is a different red. Nice effort. I like the matte contrast here with this black top here. And actually that also contrasts with the shiny black here of the window. This window is actually, I think, part of the casting. Yeah, that's all just painted, glossy. That makes sense, right? A reflective window and then like a matte canvas or cloth top. Tiny window there. Interesting. Alright, so now we have this crazy V8. Yeah, obviously that detail isn't the greatest, but I'm sure they had restrictions with the mold. What is interesting is the belt here. It's actually floating, and they did paint it black, so there's a lot of literally air gaps going there, so that's nice. And then there's a little red in this little intake there. There's double carburetors, I guess. This one's a little bit, I'm not sure if that's on purpose or why they're not vertical. Maybe just pulled out of the mold and cooled off weirdly. Alright, a lot of ribbing and stuff on this blower, and then the cam covers there. Looks like spark plug holes there, bolts and whatnot. Looks all decent enough for me. And then you got the vertical ribbing in the grill. And then I have the color match translucent red front area. I guess grill facade or grill ring, I don't know. And then you have some Fresneling here on these chromed plastic headlights. Okay. And then, well, you can see the chrome here. So that's interesting. I guess these are chromed plastic wheels, but then they added black paint here. Alright. I guess ideally you'd add black paint here as well. Okay, there's some detail on the bottom. The exhaust, so we have ovoid exhaust hole openings. I don't even know if there's paint in there. It might just be the chrome stopped, or there is black paint. I'm not sure, but it's a nice deep recess. It looks like a exhaust pipe. Sorry for the runny nose. Okay, so yeah, the drivetrain is nice. Two screws in the back, one there, but why you'd take this apart, I'm not sure. Actually, you could maybe 3D print or buy a 3D print of a nicer engine. That would be neat, and it would actually almost look realistic. This doesn't actually look like a deformed car, right? Because hot rods, this just looks like a normal hot rod to me. It doesn't look toyish or cartoony, other than the engine. That is a bit of a crazy engine. So actually, just to show you, yeah, right. Most engines are not totally blocking the driver's view, unless Mad Max is driving it. But yeah, I think if you got a 3D print of a realistic engine, it would probably fit in there, and it would look quite realistic. Very neat. If you look carefully, I have a suspicion, because the body of the truck is raked, this ramp is also raked, because the car, well, maybe it is level. It's not rolling, but I felt like it wanted to roll forward all the time, which I guess makes sense. It'll keep it on the transporter easier. Alright, let's get to a higher angle. So here's the Cobra, Shelby Cobra version of this truck. I definitely prefer this red one more. This is just a plain blue. Thinner white walls, but they do have Firestone printed on them. And then here's the matching Cobra that came with that set. So I really bought it just to get the Cobra. Alright, so otherwise it's all the same. And then just some other cars. So we have the F1 pickup. This is the Pikes Peak diesel class winner. I forget what year, but it won its class, fastest diesel to go up Pikes Peak. Very cool. Here's a Shelby Daytona Coupe, I believe it is. So probably powered by a Ford. Weren't these powered by Fords? I keep that there so it doesn't roll off things. Here's a Mustang with a crazy blower. The Highway Patrol. I would not want that following me. This actually looks very Mad Max-like. And lastly, with this cool RTX. This is a real car in real life with this real livery. So you can look up images. So I'm really glad they came out with this. I just thought it was a cool toy, but then it turns out to actually be a real car in real life. But you notice all these cars and the trucks, they're a bit cartoony, right? They don't look like realistic things. But again, I think if you swap that engine, it would look realistic. But I actually have no desire to do so. I like the styling of these slightly deformed things. If they're deformed, I don't need to be all serious. I can just appreciate them for what they are. They don't have to look realistic to me. So it's another great set from Muscle Machines. The paint quality is really nice. I think I've only had one instance where I was a little bit annoyed by the paint, but it wasn't even a bad paint job. So these paint jobs are pretty good. I guess the only annoyance on this is how they just tore that off so roughly. It's literally just sticking up out of there. But I'm too lazy to paint it, so repaint it, that is. I wonder if this one has orange turn signals. No, it has silver turn signals in the grill. I really like the white grill on that one for some reason. Oh, yeah, I suppose a wheel swap. Yeah, Firestone. Because the hot rod has Firestone. The wheels, I think, are the same. Well, I guess it's time to extend this video and let us look at the inside of these trucks. I'm going to do a wheel swap. Let's see how easy this is. Well, a wheel swap won't be so easy. Because you can see the axle is actually trapped here by this frame. But you could just peel off the tires instead, which is what I'm going to do. So, mental note, this is a very deep hole, so you got to make sure you have a thin enough screwdriver and long enough so you don't scratch the blue off of that oil pan there on the bottom. These are just plastic screws, so you want to be careful when you put them back. Try to catch the thread, otherwise you might create new threads and they won't be very strong gripping it. So just to show you how this came apart, it's kind of like that. Just lift it up and out. So there's the inside, seems to be press fit together. The window part, is it smoked? I don't know, maybe it is opaque. So let's see how easy it is to rip these tires off. Oh, that's nice and soft, nice and easy. Yeah, these are nice and soft tires, I like them. This rear one's so big though. Oh, but look at this. Wait a second, is this gonna come off? Some of them, they trap the rear of the wheel. I don't know why they would do that, but this one is not so much of an issue. Kind of like a normal tire. Boy, they put a lot of ribs into this thing. I don't know if plastic costs less than molding rubber. That's the only reason why I could think of that instead of just having a thicker tire. You get the gist. I'll be back. I know some of you think I'm an idiot, but I did eventually figure out I didn't need to swap the tires at all because the bottoms are identical, right? I thought maybe the oil pans were different, but there's this identical bottom, so I just swapped the tops to the other chassis. That's all. So now you'll see I got Firestone tires on this, matching the hot rod with Firestone tires. And this one, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it. I just like this candy red more. That's a hard call. Which do you like more? This does have the red, white, and blue stripes, which is nice. It's almost like if I took the white grill from that and put it in here, this might be the best because of this white. Whatever. Okay, so Muscle Machines, again, good stuff right here. We shall see you guys the next time. Thanks for watching again. Bye.